Put on my spirit box. Robbie! Robbie. Robbie, Robbie.
Hello.
Okay. Hi. Oh, there you go. Go ahead
Hi.
and turn on your camera.
My camera is right there. There we go.
Oh, hello. I
Hey.
like the cow
Hello.
picture. Where are you
Oh,
at?
I'm at home.
You are. Okay. I like it. Well, it's a
Yes.
very soothing sage green. So I was like, I don't know if we're at a doctor's office or if it's a beautiful green
No,
color at home.
it's at home.
I like it. Well, you look very official. That's why I was like, maybe she's a
Oh, nice.
therapist.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you do. Well, I like it. Well, just stay with
Very
me
nice.
really quick. I'm gonna kind of Scarlet. Get a feeling really quick. Hold on. And then we're gonna go into this, which I'm really looking
Okay.
forward to. Hang on. Let me see. Hang on. Apparently, what? I think somebody's spying at you around your house, and they're trying to show me little clips of watching you. That's interesting. Hold on, I'll have to tell you what they're making me see in just a second. I just need to confirm it before I open my big mouth. Hold on. Give me a second. I what? So it's not incredibly cold where you're at anymore right now, though, correct? Like it is getting, yeah, okay. Somebody's
Yeah.
talking about spring fever, and I was like, what? And then they
Yeah.
have you running around, and then they showed me. I, I don't know if you've actually gone here. I have no idea. So remember, so when spirits talk, what they're doing is they take everything that I've ever seen, felt, and experienced, and they're trying to say, this is what her life is like. Like it can be like this, okay?
Yeah.
So the first thing that they showed me was you being busy every weekend, or like there's like this, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, get this done. And I don't know if they're trying to show me, as far as like when we go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something, and I'm getting plants and I'm putting them outside, like they're applying that same tactic to you. And so I'm like, are you just saying that she's busy, or is she going to Home Depot and getting plants? Like, what does that mean? I still don't know which one yet. And then they have you, I guess you really like aesthetics, which is nice, which is good. And so they're talking about how you're always either moving things around or fixing things, like little things. And I go, okay. And they like this. Hold on. They're talking about how, who? Very heavenly spirits, by the way, because they're happy they're making me smile. Hold on. They're talking about you being very prompt, which is nice too. They're like, oh, she's okay. And oh, why? Where? Oh, but you're not doing any like hardcore physical exercise right now, though, right?
No,
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
I was like, uh-huh. This is what they showed me. It could be a thing that maybe now that it's spring, maybe you start like, I don't know, running is terrible. That sounds like a terrible idea, but maybe that would be a good thing for you. But no,
So terrible.
I know, and it's not because you're overweight or anything. They went through and they showed you with really nice calves, so maybe to like get more in shape or just stronger. And
Uh-huh.
tell me, hang on, do you have a ninja blender? Is that what you have?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Sorry, they just showed me a ninja blender. I have a Vitamix one. I used to have a ninja,
A
and then I broke it
Vitamix. I
when
have like a
you,
Vitamix, and I
you
think we
do.
have like a magic bullet or
Oh,
something.
you do. Okay, because they keep
Yeah.
talking about the smoothie things, and I'm like,
Okay.
what? Okay, I don't know why. And so
Crazy.
maybe that's a thing you should just start looking at just for like heart health and stuff. Why?
Yeah,
And you haven't had cancer at all, though, correct? No,
I have.
you did. That's what that is. They just showed me
Yes.
a portacath here, and that may mean that you had that there, or that just may mean a thing for having cancer. I don't
Hmm.
know. I had mine here. Why? There is somebody's going, she's saved. She's saved. And I go, good, good. Like they're very happy about this. And why? Was it a feminine cancer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay. they're just flashing me images of, I have no idea if you actually had this or if they're just saying feminine. They flash me images from a magazine that I saw where women have, after having breast cancer, they go through and they get everything reconstruction. They turn their whole body into a piece of art. And tell me, this is moving very fast. Hold on. Where? Ah, that's why. Okay. So you're in remission from said cancer though right now, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So I'm going to take that whole thing. One, spring clean, enjoy, have a good time, slow down, smell the flowers, right? Second thing, get your body as healthy as humanly possible. It's not about getting super fit and super sexy. It's about doing it for your heart and doing it for your body because you're in a good state now. You're fit, you're
Yeah.
fine, and you're not dealing with that crap anymore. And how? They flashed me an image of you, but your dad was already crossed when you had cancer?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Because he
Yeah.
says, "Oh, I watched this whole thing." He says, "I saw her like I did it," and he's talking about like seeing this and give me. And I think that they're trying to say that they're the ones that made you survive when we didn't.
Oh, wow.
But,
That's neat.
hmm
Wow, that's
but
really
that's
cool.
why.
Yeah.
And tell me, does she? But somebody's trying to say a name. Brr, B name. Um, hang on. Do you have a male dog now?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But his name doesn't start with a B though, right?
No, it does.
Oh, shut up. Okay, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, what is his name? Sorry, I'm completely zoned out, like in my
His
brain.
name
What
is
is his?
Biggie. His name is
Oh, I'm
Biggie. We call him Biggs. Oh my gosh, that's so
okay.
funny.
Yeah,
Uh,
he likes that. He's like, this is
uh-huh.
her soul animal, and I go, good. And apparently, he gets all the attention, and there must have been another one, and either the other one's dead and they're jealous about it, or the other one doesn't get any attention anymore. I don't know. You don't seem like a person that's not going to give attention to their dog, so I would probably say probably they're dead. And they're just trying to talk about being around you. And hang on, I guess was your last dog smaller than Biggs?
Um, so we have another one who's smaller than
He
him.
is smaller. Okay, so they're talking about the
But we
alive
did
one.
have another
Okay.
boy dog who was
Oh,
small, like
he
him. Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's see if they can bring all of this up. Hold on. Usually I give you an introduction, but they're apparently rocking and rolling already. Hold on. Why? What about her? I hear you say ma'am, mom. So mom is still alive though?
hmm Yeah, my
Oh,
mom.
okay.
Yeah.
And your parents were married at the time of your dad's departure though?
Yeah.
Okay, he goes like this. He goes, "Oh, she loves her, but she drives her crazy." And I go, "Oh my God,
Oh my
really? Stop.
God.
You can't."
Yes. Oh gosh.
Uh-huh. And I
Oh
say,
my
now
God.
I'm gonna ask him, why? Why does she drive you crazy, right? Hold on. Because the way he made you say, "Mom," that's that. That's a, I love you, but what the like that type of
Yes.
energy. Uh-huh. And hold on. Oh, he's essentially saying that she is going to be a bump on your side, which doesn't mean a thorn. It's just a bump. It's there. I love her. Yeah, all the way until the day she dies. I know you're okay with that. And who? Did she end up? No. She ended up dating somebody else?
No, she hasn't.
Yeah,
I
she
keep
didn't. That's
asking
why.
her to.
Ah, that's you. Okay,
hmm
because he's talking about it. Because I said, did she get remarried? And he gives me this like no feeling, but then there's
Yeah.
this pressure of somebody coming in, and I'm like, what? Because that's that. So I would say, do it. Continue to do that. And she'll be a bump on his side. That's essentially what he's saying. And he says, but I
Yes.
love her. Yes, yes, I'll help this happen. The only thing that your dad says is essentially he goes, he'll never be as colorful as me. He'll never be as fun as me. Honestly, you'll be really annoyed by this guy, but it'll be really good for your mother. Not annoyed, but you'll just be, it's like if somebody's named Bob and you're like, there's Bob. like an afterthought. So it could also be that the person's name will be Bob or will be named Robert. So watch out for that. Okay. And who? My spirit box says hand her sauce. I have no idea. That doesn't mean anything to me. Hold on. Um, did you have chicken for lunch?
No. No, but
Okay,
we've
no.
been eating chicken more. We
Oh,
never
you
ate chicken very much, but we've been eating it
have.
quite a bit. Well, we
Okay.
seldom, well, starting to integrate it.
You're starting to integrate. Okay, that may be
Yeah.
why, because somebody just went through and they showed me chicken and they showed you eating
Yeah.
it. And I'm like, and he
Uh-huh.
says now. And I'm like, all right, well, it's 3, so maybe lunch. And why? So he knows about your dinner. Oh. So what happened? What happened to you? Hold on. Very fast. Okay. Hold on. He just flashed me an image. I said, "So what happened to you? How did you cross over?" And he says, "I'm living my life. I'm doing normal things." And then the light shows up. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Gives me a lot of describing words. So essentially, I don't think your dad was like chronically ill or sick. Let's just say that. It doesn't feel like that. Um, it's like he made it seem like if a light just went in, like a flashlight shine in my eyes. Hang on. Oh, I wonder if that is like a light actually too. Hold on. This is a very early translation. I'm probably gonna get this absolutely incorrect, but I would, no, hold on, let me shut my face. He's telling me to wait. Hold on. Give me a second. Where's your brother at? Interesting. He keeps talking about him being possibly reincarnated. I don't think he is though. Hang on. Hold on. Are you talking about hers? Oh no, that's his. You're So you have a husband right now?
Yeah.
Is that?
Hmm.
Okay, and
Yeah.
he has a sister?
No.
Okay, somebody's talking about like, okay, so the husband, and then there's something about, but you don't have a sister though, correct?
No.
Yeah, okay, there's something about like another female that would be an equal to like a sister. I don't think your dad has one that's dead, so I don't know what that is. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. That's a translation that I don't know, so we'll have to get back into that in just a second. Hang on. I wonder, he was at his funeral. Did we end up putting him and your brother either like on top of each other or right next to each other?
No, that's the plan though.
Oh, it's coming up. Oh, okay, okay. Because
Yeah.
he's talking about how, and I know that usually goes into like cremation when they put them on top of one another or like
Hmm.
in with one another. And he's saying that this will be forever more memorialized. It's a good idea. I would even say maybe put in a wall, like find a wall and do it.
Uh-huh.
And why? Hang on. Weird. Did like a car come and hit your dad? What is that about? What is the big bam up front? What is that?
He was shot in the head.
That's the bam. That's why he
That's
didn't.
the instant light.
Ah,
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah.
And he got out of a vehicle
He was in the
and
car.
it just happened. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't even
Hmm.
see it. It's like I didn't even really think he saw it coming.
No, it was in the back.
Really? Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's talking about how he's happy. He's not scared. He's not
Hmm.
nervous. There's no fear. And then he says, "Amy, I'm going around." That's why he's so happy. I'm going around. Everything's fine. I'm in a car, and then insta light. And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Why?"
Yeah.
Yeah, your dad didn't suffer at all. Um, who? Hold on. It, I love how he explained that. That's so cool. Good job. Sorry, now I'm like sitting here feeling it again and like remembering what that feels like. there's so many different unique ways for that to happen. And like I just came up with somebody getting shot in the face and they were held at gunpoint and you could feel the tense and your dad's like boop, 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 like nothing. And hold on. So what? So is the guy that murdered him dead now? Oh,
We don't know. We don't know.
okay. Okay. He says, I said, so did he end up, going to prison? Did he end up going to jail? And he's like, nah, nah. And I go, well, why? He says, don't worry, he got his karma. And so I'm like, okay, maybe he's dead. Like, do you have,
Interesting.
what's up with that?
So my dad died in Iraq by a
Mm,
sniper. So we don't know. Like, there's just no that
that's why.
you just don't know.
That's, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be why. That
Wow.
would be why. Yeah. Because he says that there's no way he could go to prison. There's
Mm-hmm.
nobody caught him. There's nothing with that.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
he says, don't worry, karma got him. So
Wow.
I,
Interesting.
I'm going to tell you he's dead.
Okay.
He's
Wow.
dead. 110%. Absolutely
Yeah.
dead. And interesting. You know what? That's why Daniel showed up. So I have another client. Her husband was in the army. Your dad was in the army?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's why Daniel showed up. So I have another client. Her husband was the army. He was over there. He didn't die over there, but he came back over here. He had severe PTSD and he ended up taking his own life. And anytime I have somebody that's military that was army, he shows up to like talk about it. He just popped in my brain at the same time. And so they're doing something together. I
Yeah.
just, and
Wow.
yeah, yes. Hold on. So tell me about that. Okay, your dad's been your protector this entire time.
Oh.
Why? Go back. Did they? Did they? That's why they're so. Hmm. That's why he was showing me all the white headstones because that is a
Mm-hmm.
military cemetery. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was thinking, I was like, oh, maybe it's Washington. Um, See, and it's hard for like me because like what they can do, like I said, they take all of my images that I've ever seen or been through, and I've never been to Iraq, right? I've never been in a war
Mm-hmm.
before. I don't know what that feels
Yeah.
like. So he's going the best way that he can. Um, Hold on. Tell me. Uh, hmm. He's trying to talk about his service. Um, I have no idea what the normal length return time on this is, so I'm sorry if this is a little crusty. I need to learn about that. Did it take? No. So he's making me feel, I don't know if he's making me feel that it took longer than most or is this shorter than most because there's this feeling they give me. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Did it take like 3 weeks to get his body back?
Yeah, it
Okay.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
longer than
Wow.
most. Okay. Because he's talking about how normally it's like within a week. And he was like, no, like I sat in this freezer, I sat in this place, and it took a little bit
Mm-hmm.
longer. And it's to a point where
Yeah.
people are going like, is this coming home? Like, what's happening here now? Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's annoyed with it. And why? Hang on. He had a bad feeling that day, but he couldn't go away from orders. And hang on. He just wishes he would have been able to talk to you beforehand. Um, Hang on. I called his, so he had talked to your mom before, like the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Good, good. Okay.
Yeah.
I said, so what happened? I said, did you get to say goodbye to anybody? He goes, no. He says, I just talked to my wife. He says, we'll see you later. I love you. It'll be fine. And I'm like, oh, and he goes, but secretly I had a gut feeling. I go, good. And he says, I just want to tell my daughter I love her, that I'm here all the time. And I said, I gotcha. I will let her know he loves you. And he's your hero. He's wearing battle rattle in my head right now, which is interesting. And He didn't normally wear that. He's now like starting to come into focus in my brain. Hang on. Why? Oh, so he wasn't around when you and your husband got married?
No.
He says, I was there the day she got married. Let her know that. I go, okay, I will tell her that.
Oh,
And
that's great. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah, he's been seeing you this whole time. So he's in heaven. That's why I have this smile. Hold on.
Yeah.
Where? He says, I'm fast. Tell me. Go back, go back, go back. Can you tell me your rank? Okay, hold on. Okay, what is that? Hold on. You showed me a symbol. Rank, pictures. Okay. Okay. Is there only, okay, so I'm looking at a photo right now
Uh-huh.
and I'm seeing which one he makes my eyes settle on. Hang on. Hmm. So were you there? Hmm. I wonder if he was right in between. Did he like just make it up, or was he about to go into sergeant first class?
I don't know the order of them, but I think he was the highest. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what, right. I don't know the order of that.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Maybe.
so there's private, and then there's private first class, none of that. He's not a specialist is the next, corporal's the next, sergeant's the next, staff sergeant is like high, and then higher than that is sergeant first class, and then master sergeant, like right up there. And then after
Yeah,
that, when
that's
you
what
get
he
to master,
was.
uh-huh, so he's
It
like
was
right.
it was
Oh,
Master Sergeant, yeah.
that's okay. So he's because he keeps talking. He says no higher, no higher, and he
Yeah.
says right, and I go okay, and I said it's weird that you'd be out there. Sorry, I'm called a sergeant. Hold on. Good job. See, I know the Air Force ones really well because that was my whole family, and so I have to
Oh,
learn the Army
nice.
ones better. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chair Force. Hang on. Tell me.
Oh,
It's
goodness.
true. It's true. Um, why? So why were you in that? So it wasn't just a car he was getting out of a Humvee thing?
Yes.
Okay. He's making me feel what it's like to open the door and how heavy it is and how dusty it is. And I've have I ever done this before? No, but we're
Yeah.
feeling it right now.
Yeah.
And where? My wife didn't want all that. At that point, I guess now maybe where he was at and what happened, you could get the information fully if you wanted to, like location and stuff. But at that point, I guess it was a covert operation or people weren't talking about it, so you couldn't know anything then.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There you
Mhm.
go. And he's good at this. Wow. Hold on. So where's your son at? Did they? Who is she talking to? I hear you on the phone with a pen. Hold on. Hang on. You never had the daughter though, right?
I have a daughter.
You do have the daughter.
Yeah.
Ah,
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
But she's like in, hold on. She's in high school? No, she's just going into high school? How old is she? How old is
I
she
have
right
two
now?
daughters. I have one in
Oh,
college and a 9-year-old.
you're not old enough to have a college kid. Sorry, not sorry.
Yes, I know.
That's why. Okay, because he keeps saying older, older, and like
Yeah.
just went in, and I was like, no, she's 35. No.
No.
So that was me saying that he's talking about how she's older, older, and he's talking about how there's one that would be around my son's age. Now my son is 12.
Yeah.
He just turned 12, and he's talking about you being on the phone and being like, okay, what do we need to do? What is that? Did she get this done? Like that type of thing. So he's talking about
Yeah.
saying that he sees your daughters, he sees you be a really good parent, he sees how you're on top of
Oh,
everything, and
that's
he thinks it's really,
awesome.
really nifty. And what? Apparently, her husband's a good dad too. He's a good dad. Did why? He needs to watch out for what? Does your husband already have like back problems from sitting in an office
Yeah.
chair or something too much? Or I don't know
Yeah,
what it
he's had
is.
back problems.
Really? He says he needs to watch out for his back, and he's talking about him hunching and like pain and all of that. And I go,
Uh-huh.
okay. And he what? Where? So does your husband have like a little beard right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
this
It's
is
so
gonna
funny.
sound weird, but just stay with me. He goes like this. He says, I go up and I tickle his chin, and I'm like, shut up. You can't say it.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
so he's just joking with him. And he's trying to let him know that he sees him. Why? Was it? No, not anymore. No. So the husband, you were done at the second one, right? Like that was a surprise and you were over it. Okay. Hang on. I said, what about a boy? He goes, no, no, no. Mm-mm. And where? How? Is there a, oh, that's Dalen. Hold on. Dylan. What happened with Dylan? What happened with Dylan? When did he cross? So Dylan passed before your dad?
No,
Weird. No. Okay,
he
interesting.
passed after. Yeah.
He passed. He's talking about being there when they laid him to rest or being
Yeah.
there when. So that would just be his soul being there. That's why I was like, I don't think that. Hang on. So your dad's just saying he was there for that event then.
Yeah.
Hold on. What? He's disappointed. 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 This is a little bit lower feeling. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna make you feel bummed for a second. Hold on. Whereas your dad makes you feel like you're on like sparkles and rainbows and unicorns. So
Yeah.
hold on. Where? I don't know exactly what. So Dylan was a hot topic of conversation for you and your mother quite a bit then. Is that a thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's
Hmm.
talking about the I don't know what to do or blah 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 blah. There's this type of
Yeah.
energy. And hang on. Maybe he did something that wasn't good for him. I don't know. That's what he keeps saying. They keep talking about that feeling over and over again. And hold on. Somebody just put in, not somebody, but your dad, like that he passed in the most inappropriate manner. So that was it. And they did they like find him dead in his like apartment or something?
I did. Yeah.
You found him in a most inappropriate manner. Okay, I got you. So what they said, I don't, if you found him this way, I would be surprised. But this also means to me, and a symbol that he was at home or that you found him in this
Mhm.
awkward way is like somebody being found on the floor dead with their underwear on. Like that's it. So that means that he's only at home and this is what this is. And tell me. So essentially, he was going through like substance abuse trauma or substance abuse issues. Ah,
Mhm.
okay. I said, what was happening? Did he have a heart attack? Like, what? Was he eating too much? He was diabetic. And he was like, no, no, no. And then he makes me see my last client. And I go, oh, okay. And why? He just says the boy just never had a chance. I guess he started fucking off when he was like 17, 16. So your brother was already like going that route. Okay. He's such a good kid though. He was bright, he was airy, he's fun, he's could be very happy. He is a little bit heavier. He's a little bit more
Mhm.
sad. He's your dad knows about him. He's there, but it's like your brother and him are on opposite levels. So when you feel your dad's gonna feel like happy air, like, huh, okay. And then your
Yeah.
brother kind of feels hmm, like that. And so it could make you sad. Hold on. Where? Were you that old? Was he? No. I'm gonna get the age wrong. He wasn't like 38, right?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. He was 10 years younger than that. He was in his late 20s. How old was he at that point when he passed? Do you remember?
Me? Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
20, I was 27, so he was 24, 25.
You were in your late 20s. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the significance
Hmm.
there. Okay. Okay. And then now, how long ago was this now?
It was 17 years ago this year,
17 years
yeah.
ago.
Hmm. This month. Yeah.
That's what that is. So, yeah, because he goes like this. Somebody said they showed me your dad said like a year older than me, and I'm 36. So I'm like, okay, this could be 36 or 30, sorry, 37 or 38. And then he went through and he put -10. And I'm like, is it 38 or is it 28? And it's because he's talking about where you were at, how old you were, all of that.
Yeah.
And why? I was thinking maybe it was 10 years ago and he was 38. Hang on. Give me a second. I'm going to tell you that your brother. Oh, that's random. I want to look at something before I open my mouth. Well, I'm going to tell you this. So it's weird because your dad is talking about your brother. I feel part of his energy, but I'm not getting a full conscious connection like I'm doing with your dad. Okay. So it's
Yeah.
almost like I'm hearing your dad talk about your brother
Hmm.
and what he experienced. But then in the very beginning, as soon as I asked about your brother, your dad showed me this symbol that I've only seen like 12 times in like 10 years. That's it. So it's super rare. But he showed me the symbol for arrows. So an arrow going this way and then another arrow going this way. So kind of like a loop and a loop. And that for me is reincarnation, which is weird. Okay.
Huh.
Okay. And so then, and they kept talking about being a kid for you or like being your kid. And then I was like, does she have a boy? And he goes, no. That's why I was asking about the daughters. And then somebody kept showing me like your youngest. They kept talking about your youngest. And so right now, before we go further, this is not something I talk about like I said 11 times in 10 years.
So
What? Tell me.
I do have a boy who's
You have a
18.
boy. Shut
Mhm.
up. Ah, but he passed 17 years ago though, so that boy would already be over
He
here.
was
Yeah.
just born, yeah.
So was he
He
born
was
like
born
right before
before him,
he
before
was born?
Dylan died. Yeah.
Yep, that wouldn't be it. So I'm
Okay.
gonna say it goes along. So that'd be your dad referencing a boy, and then
Mhm.
let's look real quick. I want to look at something. Hold on. 20. Interesting. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna snoop. So I will tell you mine if you tell me theirs. So your youngest, when is her birthday? Mine's November 7th of 88.
Hers is June 30th,
Of what year?
2015.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. 2015. And then where was she born at? I was in Clear Lake, Texas.
She was in Glendale, Arizona.
Oh, you're the Arizona person. Okay, I'll show you that in a second. I had somebody talking about Arizona on my spirit box and I took a screenshot of it and I was like, this goes with somebody. We'll have to figure that out. Hold on. And then what about your brother?
He was born in California.
Okay. Do you know
I
what
think
area?
uh was he born in Livermore?
Livermore. Okay. Hold
Hmm.
on. And then do you know his date?
It was, oh gosh, September 26, 2000.
Okay.
Oh, no, not 2000. Geez,
It's okay.
1984. 84.
84. Okay. So
September
September
25th,
26th.
26th, 25th, September 25th.
25th? Okay, of
Yeah.
84. If it
Hmm.
changes, let me know because it does have an effect.
Okay.
September 25th. So essentially what I'm looking at really quick um is without, going through and talking to the kid when they're like 2, not prying, just being like, what do you think about this? Seeing if they
Hmm.
have any interesting responses. Clearly, she's already too old to go through with that. There is a thing that I've seen. Everybody has a certain vibration or a certain energy. And when I'm talking about signs, I'm not an astrologist by any means. I don't do that. And in fact, it really doesn't matter. But one of the things that I figured out is that everybody has a certain vibration or like a certain resonance to them. And when you see somebody that is possibly reincarnated or like coming back in, the signs will essentially be the same, but they will be shifted up just like one. And so whatever that person was before, now they're learning that same lesson in this next life. It's on. We'll get more into that later. So I wanted to see if there's any. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Oh my God. Holy crap. That's wild. All right. So what's interesting, and this won't make a whole lot of sense to you right now, but I'm just going to give it to you kind of like straightforward. So your daughter, um, well, sorry, your son, no, your brother, excuse my French, is a Libra. So his outer personality is a Libra. His emotional side, who he actually is, was a Libra as well. What does that mean? People that have this type of placement, they can deal with substance abuse issues really, really easily because they like the way it feels. They like the escapism. This also means he could have been super creative, really, really talented, but essentially their own mind gets to them and they want to nerf it. And then when they have trauma or like having your dad pass away and stuff like that, it's going to they're either going to sink, which is what happened, or they're going to swim and they're going to learn
Hmm.
from it and be this, person that they take care of other people so they don't go through these issues. So it's very interesting because his outer personality and inner personality are in Libra, and then your daughter, which is her ascendant is her ego or what she was in a past life, is in Libra. And then her base vibration, which is who she is naturally through the other lives, is also in Libra. So that kind of matches that moving forward energy. The other thing is that not your husband, sorry, your brother, his north node, what his soul is trying to become, is in Cancer, which is what your daughter is.
Shut up.
Yes, yeah, this is very rare. This is
Oh my.
this is not a normal thing. Okay. And so what does that mean? So his north node is trying to be in Cancer, which is all about having a safe space, having a great mom, having a family, having like this non-broken connection where he can kind of like find himself and find this home, right? And so essentially he lost that in his last life. It was destroyed, right? Like his only male role model. And so now he could show back up as your daughter, and he has you, and he has his siblings, and he has your husband, and he has this concrete type of environment where he can grow and flourish. The next thing, this is where it gets even more weird, is that his love sign, which is what he wants to be, how he wants to be loved and how he gives love in return, this is in Scorpio. Okay, so Scorpio can be really, really good. It can mean that you're super creative. Most people that are musicians, they also happen to be drug addicts, have this placement as well. They can get super dark. A lot of these people can actually commit suicide. And essentially, he ended up going down this direction. He ended up losing his life to like substance abuse and going through these things. Well, it's interesting that your daughter's negative side, which is her past life energy, which is the energy that she's trying to learn from, is in Scorpio. Okay, so like that pops through as well. And then the other thing, which is kind of cool, is that your brother's communication style, how he talks, how he wants to be spoken to, and then also his Jupiter, which is the highest version of him, the sign that he's trying to get to, are both in the sign of Virgo, and then your daughter's Lilith or her last life energy is in Virgo. All right. Like every single sign matches and it fits in the exact placement as it should. And then this is the other kicker. You ready for this? So your daughter's moon, her emotional side, her inner working is in Sagittarius, and your brother's ego was in Sagittarius. So essentially, he could never be his ego. He could never figure this out. And so now your daughter has these placements and she has this new type of life. Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm going to have to say, just from looking at this, you
No
probably,
way. That is crazy.
yeah, it's weird. You probably have your brother as your youngest.
Oh my God. That's so insane.
Yeah, and that's the only way. So essentially, when I'm talking about, I'll tell you what the sign thing is. So when people go, "Oh my God, I'm a Scorpio," what does that mean? So that's just your sun sign. It's your outer version. It's essentially the outer personality of you and how you view and experience the world. You have 15 different notes or 15 different signs that make up this unique composition of your life, how you view, see, and experience the world, and the things that are going to happen to you in it. Okay, so whatever sign you are, you will receive the opposite energy coming at you until you understand what a badass you are, right? And so then what ends up happening is that if you don't make the highest level or your highest vibration or the best version of you and you succumb to this crap, well, guess what? You get to do it all over again. You get a whole new stack of cards, right? You get to figure it out till you understand what you are. So essentially, with your brother and your daughter, it's the same signs. They're just shifted up one and they match completely
Oh
all the way.
my God. That is so crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. And then the other thing is because your dad's talking and I haven't spoken to your brother, and he's talking about the situation with your brother in third person, and he's making me feel all the feelings of the environment, what he witnessed, what was going on, even
Yeah.
after that. And so I'm going to have to say right now, your daughter's probably that. And the only reason why I'm saying not 100%, it's because I haven't gone and talked to God and shaken his hand or her hand or their hand and said, this is a deal, right? But just from my personal experience and professionalism with that, I would have to say yes.
Wow.
All right. So with your daughter, how is she? Is she a little wild in a good way? Is she sassy?
She's wild. She's a total
Hmm.
tomboy. And she just has got the best spirit, smile. Like she always is just so happy. She's got the best laugh. I mean, and then she's just a total tomboy through and through.
She's a tomboy. Yeah.
That is
Yeah. And so
so funny.
I know. And what would be, because remember too, or not remember, but we do come back in with the same unit, but you don't normally see that until you get to like, the double great grandparents. So like you are probably, a triple great grandfather or grandmother or something like that. And these patterns, they keep the pattern all the way down through the family lines. So if you want to go really crazy, you can throw all of it up and you're like, holy shit. That's why my dad said that I have like the temper of my grandmother because, oh my God, that matches. So it gets nuts.
Huh? Hmm.
Okay. So yeah. So just think about that and then see if there's any like as you go through, put on the lens of like viewing how does your brother react or how did he talk or how did he react and now watch your daughter and see if you see anything interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
That's so funny. Yeah, that
Uh-huh.
is
So hold
so
on.
funny.
Yeah, just let me know too if you see anything interesting. I've had a couple client. My last client that I had this happen to was 3 years ago. And
Really?
like, yeah, it's very few and far between because
Wow.
the pattern for us to come back in is so wide. It's not in our little snip. It's like further
Yeah.
out, but because your brother essentially, knocked out very, very early,
Uh-huh.
he came back in. Okay. Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So hold on, let me see. Where? What, Dad? Come back over here. Where are you at? Hold on. I gotta focus. I gotta refocus. Hang on. So what you're doing is you're tuning into, it feels like you're tuning into a radio station. And what he's talking in feelings. And then you translate those feelings into words. Hang on. So I'm trying to find, and I'm asking him, what? Why are you talking about our ankle? Hold on. You haven't broken your ankle though, correct? Like there's nothing wrong with your ankle right now. Yeah. Interesting.
Mm,
Watch
I
out
have
for that. Hold on. And you don't have a deck on your backyard patio, right? It just like goes straight out to the
No, we
like
have a deck.
cement.
Yeah.
You do have a deck. Oh,
Yeah.
watch out for that deck. I guess going up and down it or something. Be careful. Maybe you'll trip. And I mean, there's no death, but he just showed you with a boot
Yeah.
on
Oh
your
my
foot.
God. Yeah.
So if that
Not nice.
happens, please email me and yell at me and be
Yes,
like,
I will. I will.
please, please, okay? And why? Hang on. Raccoon? What? So is there like a little, so like you live in a neighborhood, but is there like a little patch of like forest behind you?
So we live in, yeah, we live in I mean, the Northwest. We live in Portland, the Northwest. So there's a lot of trees,
Oh.
urban forest
Mm.
area. And my husband
Ah.
and neighbor were out yesterday. There were raccoons in the trees, and they were trying to get them down. Oh my God.
There it is. There it is. Sorry, he just showed me a raccoon on like a video camera, on like a CCTV footage. And I go, what? And he goes, oh, yeah, it's beautiful here. There's a bunch of nature. I said, does she live on property like us? He goes, no, no, no. He says, a lot, big trees. And I've never been up there
Yeah.
before, so I haven't seen that. And he shows me these little masked, trash pandas. And I'm like, oh,
Yep.
okay. So your
Yep.
dad was around the property with your husband looking at these coons. And were they only successful with like one and then the other one
They
just
they
came down on their
oh
own?
yes. They they
Yeah.
got him with a BB gun. They got one down.
That's
That is
it. That's
too
it.
much.
I know.
Oh
He goes like this. He says the other one's gonna do what it wants to do. Oh yeah, they were only successful with one of them, but like, the other one just did whatever the hell it wanted to. And I go, oh,
oh
okay.
my God.
And yeah, he knows. And he's
Wow.
showing this as an image of like being, I guess, at the back party, maybe at the back part of your house, and I'm looking up at it.
Yep.
And the way the image looks like when they show you this is I want you to think of like seeing a picture or a movie that you're reimagining in your head, but then it's underwater. So it's like blurry. So you have to get really good at knowing what these blurry images are. That's how
Wow.
spirits make you
Yeah.
look. Yeah. And why? Go back. I heard you pull out a drawer and the silverware shook. Okay, where? Hang on. What does that mean? So he's wanting to talk about something in your kitchen. Um, I don't like this. I don't like this. Do you not? Do you get annoyed at like the what your kitchen countertop is made out of or something? Because it's like granite, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's not granite, it's the what is it called?
Quartz?
Yes, it's quartz, yeah.
Ah, it's quartzite.
It
Okay, so it's good. It's good. Okay, when you got it, but you didn't install it, it was here at the house when you got it?
was here, yeah.
Okay, that's why. Hold on. Hang on. We just installed quartz in our thing, and I was like, maybe she redid it. Hang on. Where? He's in your kitchen a lot. He's in the hustle and bustle with you. So this is a two-story home? Like it goes
Yeah.
up a single?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. He flies up the stairs. Where? There's a dog rolling over. So one of the dog has like long hair on the bottom or something, or like longer.
No.
Interesting. Who's the one that had like a curtain, like a golden retriever or something? I don't think
So
they were a
we
golden
had a
retriever.
schnoodle.
Oh my God, you had a
We
schnoodle.
had a schnoodle, and my mom has a golden doodle right
A
now.
golden
That
retriever.
dog is
Okay,
over, yeah, that's
that's
funny.
that. Okay, that's what
Wow.
that is.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. Because he shows me the gold and then he shows me Shadow from Homeward Bound, like from like what, 30 years ago,
Okay.
that movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he has them rolling over. Does your mother, oh my God, so your mother treats that dog like a
Oh
king,
God.
even though it's a little wild?
Yes.
Okay. He says it should
Annoying.
be outdoors.
Yes.
I know, I know. And why? Where? I just want to name that dog Humphrey or something like that. Something like regal and interesting. Hang on. Where? So where are they going? Ah, so you're up there in Oregon, so you don't particularly like Dungeness crab?
I mean, we don't eat it that much. I mean,
Oh,
it just, I mean, I do.
yeah,
We just don't do it a lot.
that's it. Okay. Because sorry, Dungeness, like I order on from Goldbelly from Pike Place Fish Market. I think that's in
Yeah.
Washington, wherever that
Uh-huh.
is, and then I have it shipped into my house so I can eat it all the
Yeah.
time. And I'm like, they're up there. Do they get it all the time? And they're like, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And and why? So what? Where were you at? Why are you staying back home? So does your dad have family from the East Coast? Was there family
Yeah.
for him over there?
That's where
Ah,
he grew up, like part of
hmm.
his childhood. Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
he's talking about my family. My family is from, well, Russia, and then they moved to the East Coast, and he's talking about how we have that partial area of descent. And I go,
Yeah.
cool. And
Yeah.
he's talking about liking it over there. Where? Was he more Pennsylvania than
No.
Jersey?
Yeah, Jersey.
Oh, he's Jersey. Okay, because I asked him New York and he goes, God, no. And I go, okay. And then he shows me another big city. I've never really been ran through Jersey a whole lot, so it's Jersey. Hang on.
Hmm.
He showed me all of my family that had like the big Jewish nose, which is funny. I'm not saying your dad did, but like that's what they were. Hold on. Where? You're eating a bagel now. All right, that's good. Hang on. And he's very happy that he doesn't have to die of like heart congestion or like heart failure or anything. He's very happy with that. I guess his diet was shit, which is fine. That's what happens when you're in the army. And he's happy where he's at. He's glad that he gets to see everything. He's glad that he keeps touching his stomach. That he gets to run around with you. What? Did she? Okay, so what do you have? Hold on. The brother had it. He couldn't take care of it. Somebody needs to take his helmet or his hat or something out of the closet and put it on display. I don't know. I don't think it's with you. It must be at mom's house then. So his
No,
like,
his helmet is
what is it?
here.
It's
Charlie,
here.
my daughter, my youngest has it in her bedroom right now.
Shut up. It's in her
Yeah.
bedroom.
Yeah. Uh-huh. He
Ah,
has it.
that's, he keeps touching my head and he
Yeah.
says that it's not. I said, well, where is it at? He says, no. And he puts and he shuts the room door, shuts a closet door. And he
Yeah,
says,
it's
but
in
they
her
see it.
closet. Yeah.
It is. Take it out of the fucking closet. Put it out.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what that
Okay.
is.
Wow.
And what? Why? Um, he just put a heart and then said Charlie. So there's like
Oh,
love for all
yeah.
of your kiddos. Uh, s- seven, 7'6"? Maybe one of them was 7 pounds, 6 ounces.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's talking about being there when you had
Uh,
your daughter and that. Hold on. Hang on. You're so cute when you're pregnant. Oh, that's wow. That's big in a good way. I got freaking huge. I got 230 pounds,
I
so I'm not
was.
dogging you.
I was
Yes.
with my son. I was huge. I was like 230.
We were the same.
I was.
Yes.
I was huge.
He's talking about that. And he,
Wow.
so were they thinking about doing the C-section for him, but we went natural instead?
I don't remember. I mean, I
Okay.
really don't remember. I was like in labor
Okay.
a long time, and I think that
Oh
probably came up. And
God. Oh, but you were able to push him out
yeah,
normally?
I was able to have him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the only your dad, I said, so I ended up having to have a C-section because of it. And I said, so what about her? And he says, well, he says, I was there for the whole time. And he says, there may have been talks because of how big, but no, she, and I go,
Yeah.
good. He's talking about, I did that. So he's saying that he made everything go right.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So your dad has been with you, holding your kids,
That
making
is
sure that you're
awesome.
okay, apparently putting your brother back in your daughter, which is interesting. And where is there a Greg around you at all, or a Gra name? G.
Grandma,
Oh,
Jim,
Jim. Who's Jim? Is that an
my
uncle?
father-in-law.
Oh, that's why he's a dad, an off one. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Where? Jim said hi. What? Wait, so is Jim's alive though?
Jim's alive. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's saying, tell Jim I said hi.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh
So
my
he's
God.
like going up to shake his hand and he's saying like he approves of this marriage or he approves of
Oh,
it.
oh,
Okay.
that's awesome.
And why? Hang on. Jim's a good guy though. We really like Jim.
Yeah, he is. He's very, very amazing.
He says he's very good. And tell me, Nanette, who's the in name? Who's the in?
N, I don't have an N.
Unless we call the grandma like nanny. Unless that would be the only other thing.
Nana is my mom.
Nana's your mom.
Yeah, the kids call
Really?
my mom Nana. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
that is. Okay,
that's
because they said
funny.
Nana, and I'm like, Nanette? You heard me say that. I was like, that because
Yeah.
I'm going for a
Yeah.
word. Yeah. So he's talking about your mom and how
Yeah.
they call her grandma. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Nana. And
Yeah.
tell me, it just said nice.
That's
So,
so funny.
where? Oh. So you got the tattoos like down to the wrists?
Yeah. Hmm.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. He's like looking good. And I go,
Uh,
oh. So he thinks it's really cool. And where? Hmm. He's trying to tell me corny dad jokes in my head.
yes. Oh my
Um,
gosh.
he just said, your refrigerator is running. Please go and catch it. And I'm
Yes.
like, I, that's never been a thing in my head. And where? I hear you saying Texas. There's no point for you to go to Texas. Are y'all going? What is up with Texas?
So we've really wanted to move from
Oh.
Oregon.
Hmm.
Um, so, places, Texas has been like, where I always look at, realtor,
Uh-huh.
housing stuff
Uh-huh.
and look for houses and stuff.
You should
So yeah.
come. It's a great
Yeah.
spot.
Is
That's where
that where
I'm
you
at.
are?
Okay. Yeah, so
Oh,
let me
okay.
tell you, I'm from Houston originally, like right next to Galveston, like 5 minutes away. Grew up on the Gulf Coast, and
Yeah.
Houston is great. It's really congested right now, and so I actually moved up to, you'll get the recording, but it's called Tatum, and it's this tiny town in East Texas. It's about 3.5 hours northeast, like close to the Louisiana border. But I we have a brand new built in 2022, 5 bedroom, 3 bathroom home. It is
Yeah.
on 39.5 acres in the middle of
Oh,
nowhere with a wilderness
yeah.
preserve behind it. How much did I pay for it?
Um, 325.
Oh, no, no, not that low. I paid
Oh,
899, so eight hundred
oh,
ninety nine thousand. But if you get it for 40 acres and all of that
for
right now,
40
so a
acres. Yeah.
normal, yeah, so a normal home in Houston, if you get, I would say a little bit more than upper normal because we'll go with like your area. If you got a 4 bedroom or a 5 bedroom, 3,600 square foot, maybe you could get in a really good like mature neighborhood with like beautiful trees where it had like the really good type of stuff. You
Yeah.
would probably pay 330
That's
max.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the
That's
taxes,
cool.
we don't have property tax. They
Yeah.
don't tax her income.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what we like.
uh-huh.
Yeah. That's
Uh-huh.
that's
And
really
then I'm
cool.
about to get one of those cows behind you as well. So there's your sign. You should move to
Really.
Texas. Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
got a question
Yeah.
for you. Can I
What?
ask you a question?
Yes, anything. What?
So I have I downloaded the Transcend app. I've heard you talking about it quite a few times, so I downloaded it. And my
That's what
husband
this
and
is.
I, we turn it on at night.
Yeah. Good.
And, we were very periodically, we'll turn it on, and we turned it on, I want to say on Monday night. And we were, he, said, "Hey, mom, hey, yeah, ha." My kids called my dad, haha. My oldest did. She couldn't
Oh.
pronounce her piece, so she called him haha. Um, "Hey, haha, hey, D." And so he talks to his mom, and
Yes.
it was the craziest thing. It
What
said,
happened?
"I'm here, Andy."
Yes.
And then she said, "Hi, Jimmy,"
Yes.
to his dad, and then mentioned their neighbor's name. It was so
Yes.
crazy. I mean,
Yes.
it was
That's what it
clear as
does.
day. It was
I
clear
know.
as day.
I know,
Yeah,
because they're right here. I mean, like it's
yeah,
right, they're right here. And okay, so just remember, and this is to tell your husband. So this is the only app that has never been debunked. There are no words in it. There's
hmm,
no all the other ghost apps or whatever it is. They have a word bank in them, and then that computer in the background randomly will pull up those words. There's no word bank, so your loved one either comes in here and they manipulate the audio to make you hear it. Okay, so it's
yeah.
just pure, like there's no words, nothing. It's just audio, right? So they'll manipulate that, or they can also use it to bring up letters on here because there's no words, there's no letters. They take the frequencies and then it brings it up right here.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay,
And so
yeah,
it's really
yeah.
cool because sometimes if you have it on and you're listening to it, you may ask a question in your head and you'll get one part of the response in a verbal and you'll get the second part on the word.
Wow. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that was
Yeah. And
super
so,
cool. That was really neat. Yeah, it was clear
and
as day
because
too.
they're, and that's also, so the way that I can channel for you right now, like you see how it's pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
and it's because you have already started connecting. You've
Yeah.
already started going, this is interesting. I like it. Wow, this does exist, and there's flow. And so the way that you feel directly affects how I can channel you.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So
Oh, that's really
anytime that you
cool.
bust it out or anything like that, just remember nothing can hurt you. Nothing's ever going to harm you. Nothing is going to come through that's bad. Whatever you are, whatever vibration you are at, if you're like having a shit day, don't go and do it. If you are, scared or nervous, you just got into a fight, don't go and do it, right? Just be neutral. And so as soon as you hit that vibration, they'll come in. And it's
Wow.
only
Yeah.
going to get better with time because they practice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Hmm. So the
Very
more you
cool.
use it, the easier it is. Oh, it just says, I'll do it all.
Wow.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this is what I want you to do right now. Well, first, is there any questions? Because I am going to have to run to my next session, but are there any questions for me before I run?
No, that was awesome. Just,
You?
really quick, my
What?
mother-in-law, is she
Oh,
like good,
hang on.
passed okay,
Hold on.
she's
Hold
back,
on.
healthy?
Give me a second. Yeah, so there was a person in my head. The reason why I was laughing just now is because there was a person that just said, "Oh my gosh, my passing was not as eventful as his," just straight up like that. And I just laughed at that. Hold on. Your husband is the apple of her freaking eye. Like, my
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, mama's
God.
boy. Yep.
Yeah. She just
Yeah.
went through and she showed me an image of if she's walking in front of him and she's putting rose petals down as he walks in like towards
Yep.
her.
Yep.
I'm like, mm-hmm. And why? Loves the kids. Hang on. What are you joking about with that? I guess she didn't get them good Christmas presents. That's okay. Hold on. Or like, is she like, there's something where she says, "Oh, now I can give them gifts that like they like, or maybe now I can do this even better." And why?
Yeah. That's so funny.
So she was in hospice though?
Um, yeah, yeah.
Kind of. Okay.
Like she liked it at home, and then it kind of,
Oh, it
yeah.
went that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
because she says, I said, so was it quick? Was it fast? What? She goes, no, no, no. People were around me. They're watching me. I didn't feel good. I was sick. And she's talking about just laying
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
And I go, okay. And where? Vermouth. What? How? Was she only born in like 45? Was she born in? No, she's a little bit younger. She was like, what,
Yeah.
47? How old was
She
she? No,
was
I mean, like what year?
I want to 40, no, 50. She was like the same age as my dad, 50 something, 52,
Really?
51. Yeah,
Okay, okay,
51,
right around.
52. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she's just talking about, I said vermouth. I said, that's like a 1920s thing. I said, how old are you? And she goes, no, honey, I'm not that old. She's like, but
Yeah.
now we can like have a cocktail. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, did you drink cocktails here? She's like, no, not really. And I go, okay, well, that's
Yeah,
great. Now you
good.
can go and have a party. Like
Yeah,
that. That was a
it's
whole
so
line
funny.
of thought. So she's having a party, having a good time, hanging out with you, your kids, your husband, obviously. So
Yeah,
just talk to her.
that's cool. That's really cool. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was really neat. That was really
Anytime,
cool.
anytime. So if you need me or if you have any questions, let me know.
I
Okay.
will.
Okay.
Definitely.
I
Cool.
freaking
Well,
love
thank
you.
you so much. That was
You're welcome,
great.
honey.
You're
All
amazing.
right. Love you, babies.
We'll see you.